Well, good day, history and geography. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope you had a good week. It was a weird week, not having class at all, but I know several of you did not have power. When I taped the video that I posted last Monday, we were having tornado warnings here, and I wanted to go ahead and get that done where I could have it ready for Monday. And I did not know that on Monday, Mr. Altman would say, hey, we're not going to have school this week. We didn't know the severity of the storms, but hopefully you've been praying for those families that lost loved ones throughout the South. I think 30 deaths all throughout the South, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. Bad storms rolling through. And hopefully your family fared well and hope you're doing well. And we are going to resume the chapter. So hopefully you did your assignment that we had posted from last Monday, and that was yesterday's assignment. Today we move forward, and we're talking about stuff that, man, this stuff, I'm old. By the way, it's Spirit Week. There you go, dare to dream. That's right, baby. But so let's celebrate some school spirit this week, even though we're doing it online. And we want to get that done. But this is stuff, we're going to talk about stuff today that, I live through. I'm old, and I lived through this and remember it well when it happened. And we're going to talk about several things. First of all, I want to talk about President Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. You'll see him. We're going to start on page 261. And Bill Clinton was, he ran for president. Now, here's how that election unfolded. One of the most fascinating elections. Let me just explain it in a nutshell. And I hope I haven't mentioned this in class before. I know I have in others because we've had occasion to. But let me just tell you how Bill Clinton got elected. George Herbert Walker Bush was president. And he had promised when he ran for president the first time, he said, read my lips, no new taxes. Plain and simple, right? He's not going to support any tax increases whatsoever. Okay, sounds good. Well, toward the end of his first 4 years in office, Congress passed a tax increase. And guess what George Herbert Walker Bush did? He approved it. He signed it into law. So we had a tax increase. That angered lots and lots of people, including me. And I will tell you that election in 1992, I was 22 years old. And I had voted the first time around. First time I was able to vote was in 1988, first presidential election ever. I was 18 years old and had just gotten the right to vote. But I just kind of voted the party I believed in. And here it was time to support a person that belonged to the party that I believed in, as opposed to the other party. And this guy had lied to us. He said, read my lips, no new taxes. Well, he approved taxes. Right or wrong, he lied about it. And I did not like that. My taxes at the time, even though I wasn't making that much, they went up. And it angered me. Well, on the other side was a guy by the name of Bill Clinton. He had been a governor of Arkansas. Very shady person. A lot of shenanigans in his business dealings, so to speak. None of it really ever caught up with him, but he was investigated for a lot of shady, for lack of a better term, dealings when he was governor of Arkansas, as was his wife, Hillary Clinton. Hillary was investigated a lot. So, those two are running on the major parties. Bush is a Republican. Clinton is a Democrat. There was a guy who said enough is enough. And if you go back and watch footage, and I won't make it mandatory that you do, but you would find it interesting to go to YouTube and check out a guy by the name of H, the letter H, period, Ross Perot. Or just Ross Perot, P-E-R-O-T. And Ross Perot came along, and he really, really, really would remind you of Trump. He talked about a lot of our money was going to Mexico. He said, and he talked funny to you. Hey, now look at here. Listen to me. I'm all ears. And he had big ears, by the way, which made it even more funny. I'm all ears. There's a giant sucking sound going to Mexico. And he talked like that. Very smart business, wealthy guy, paid for his campaign himself, multi-millionaire. And he ran as an independent. Now, what happened in this election, the long and short of it, is people that were diehard Democrats voted for Bill Clinton because they would vote for whoever as long as they're a Democrat. You understand this. Some of the Republicans wanted to stay true to the Republican Party and voted for George Herbert Walker Bush. I, personally, as a 22-year-old, was offended at Bush's actions, didn't like being lied to, and I wasn't going to vote for Bill Clinton. So I voted for H. Ross Perot, as did millions of other folks. And the problem with that, in hindsight, is the people that voted for Ross Perot, if he hadn't have been in this election, would have voted for George W. Bush. And so therefore, it split the Bush vote. Bush got some of them, Perot got some of them, and if you had added them together, it would have been a landslide for Bush. But it wasn't. And Bill Clinton won the presidency with about 42% of the popular vote, but he got enough of the electoral vote. Your book will talk about on page 261 some of his policies. He was a supporter of the UN. He was he sent our troops in along with UN peacekeeping missions to Somalia, Bosnia, and Haiti. But he also partnered with the communist Chinese, and we're talking a communist nation, and he shared valuable missile technology with them, nuclear missile technology. That way, if they have nukes, they know how to launch them now and get them to certain places because of Bill Clinton. He also reduced our military greatly. I mean, just gutted it. It took away a lot of our aircrafts, our weapons, cut the funding for them, hurt our military big league, as the president would say. As a result, any time that America is weakened and our military is weakened, the world's going to take advantage of it. People look at the military right now and they think, hey, we better not mess with America, or at least we hope that's what they think. Any sane, rational thinking person would think that. But when the military has been depleted, when some of our strength is gone militarily, the world starts to take advantage of it. Several things happened. One thing happened was terrorism started to grow. This is where we really start to see terrorism start to happen. One of the things that happened, Islamic terrorists, the religion of peace, by the way, Islamic terrorists, on February the 26th, 1993, they put a bomb in the basement of the World Trade Center. So when we talk about the World Trade Center being bombed in 2001, that wasn't the first time. They bombed it in 1993, and it actually injured about 1,000 people, killed about 6 people. Their plan was they put this bomb near a support structure in the World Trade Center. They hoped that it was strong enough to knock this support down and collapse the building. It didn't, but it caused major problems. 25 years ago yesterday was the 25th anniversary, and there wasn't a lot said about this because of all the COVID stuff going on. But 25 years ago, yesterday, the federal building in Oklahoma City was bombed. This was a domestic terrorist. That means a United States, a homegrown terrorist, a guy by the name of Timothy McVeigh. He had another partner. Timothy McVeigh ended up getting the death penalty. His cohort, I believe, life in prison. Also, several things happened. We're on page 262 now. 258 lives were lost when explosions destroyed American embassies in Tanzania and Kenya. A guy by the name of Osama bin Laden was responsible for that. By the way, Clinton had an opportunity to kill Osama bin Laden while he was in the White House. He didn't do it. And that might have spared us 9/11. Who knows? And then in October of 2000, Al-Qaeda attacked again. They bombed an American destroyer, a ship, the USS Cole. 17 U.S. soldiers lost their lives there. So a lot of terrorism starts to crop up during the Clinton administration. Also, computers take off. I remember my first computer in 1988. It was an Apple IIe at school. I was a senior in high school. We learned how to program a little bit. You had to use basic programming, basic being the computer language. And that was the first time I'd ever messed with a computer whatsoever. By the year 2000, about 50% of households have a computer in their house. Now you know that pretty much every home has a computer in it of some sort, be it a cell phone or a computer or a laptop or whatever. The information takes off. The World Wide Web. When you put in an address, www. That's World Wide Web dot whatever. That takes off the internet. So that starts to happen. Also, there was a moral decline. Bill Clinton was the ringleader of that. He was accused of several, immoral acts with women, and is still accused of that to this day in many areas. He also was tied up in the Whitewater investigation, and later on in high school you'll talk more about the Whitewater investigation, but it was a land deal. Just shady dealings. And Bill Clinton lied to a grand jury. As a result of him lying he actually committed a crime. If you lie to a grand jury or you lie to a jury today, you have committed a crime. Bill Clinton did that. So